D. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Farsi Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It is wonderful to have you along for the ride. I think we all heard yesterday this sound coming from millions across the Delaware Valley. Yeah, I'll say millions. And the sound was this. A collective sigh of relief. The best possible news with Landon Dickerson would be like, oh, he's fine. He just kind of like rolled his ankle or something. Or twisted his knee. It was a little uncomfortable, you know. That would be the best possible news. But the close second, and I think what everyone expected after a cart was involved in taking him off the field at Sunday's open practice, the most realistic news would be that it would be a week-to-week type of thing. And that's what they got. When I saw week-to-week, I went, oh, boy, week one, let's go. And he is hopeful. I've heard from other people that have had this same injury. One in particular saying that they only missed a week. Little shave. Little shave and you're back out there of the meniscus. And Landon Dickerson will be just fine. So the Eagles kick off with the Dallas Cowboys in less than a month. They still have 2 preseason games remaining. It does not, I mean, look, Landon Dickerson is one tough SOB. We had Landon Dickerson on this show some years ago. And I remember one of the things Landon Dickerson said on this show, other than the fact that he got a parking ticket and we were all like, one of us, one of us. The other thing he said was having 2 ACL surgeries in college, he felt like he got his injuries out of the way. Like look, it doesn't work like that, obviously. But that was the mindset he had going into his rookie year. Like, all right, I got my injuries out of the way. I'll be good to go now. You know, hey, whatever you got to do to put yourself mentally over that hurdle, because I think everyone knows by now, you got to get over it mentally, not just physically. You got to be able to trust your knee again. You got to be able to trust your shoulder, your ankle, whatever it might be. You have to be able to trust that you're through the injury before you're really over the injury. So whatever his mental state is trying to get over this injury, I trust it will be rather strong. Just like he is strong like bull at the left guard position for your Philadelphia Eagles. I would be surprised. If Landon Dickerson missed a game this regular season. If his start to the regular season was delayed because of this injury. And that, to me, is the best news and most realistic news when it came to this. Look, we were all waiting with bated breath to see the way this was going to come out. We're talking about whether or not Brett Toth is going to get opportunities there. We're talking about Matt Pryor possibly getting opportunities there. We're talking about sliding Tyler Steen over, as it was reported by one person. And I always hate doing that. I don't want to get weaker or uncomfortable, at least, at 2 positions when I only have to get uncomfortable at 1, potentially. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So, now here's the opportunity. The opportunity's out there for the guys that could be on the Eagles offensive line this year in those spot start situations, or somebody rolls an ankle. We need Drew Kendall to get out there and play left guard or right guard or wherever it might be. Those guys are now going to get more reps. Call it a silver lining. I'd rather not have it, but now these guys are going to get a few more reps in training camp. So the best possible news we could have gotten for Landon Dickerson, we got yesterday. We'll get more into that in a second. Philadelphia Phillies won their 4th straight game yesterday. Taijuan Walker is a redemption story that we're not talking enough about. And I know it's training camp. I know that Kyle Schwarber's got 42 home runs. Like, for instance, every once in a while, I'll look for a little number, a little stat or something like that, and I'll go and, like, look at the ESPN story or whatever like that. The ESPN story on yesterday's game doesn't even mention Taijuan Walker. Isn't that wild? 6 innings, 1 run yesterday. Phillies offense gave him no support while he was in the ballgame. 6 innings, 1 run. In his last 12 innings, he's allowed 1 run. He had 6 scoreless against the Baltimore Orioles, 6 innings, 1 run yesterday. He has an ERA of 3.31 now as a starting pitcher. Let's just rewind for a second. His ERA as a starting pitcher last year, more than double that. 7.18 ERA last year as a starter. And let me also say this. I regret nothing. I never, you weren't going to release him. Still a lot of money, like 36 last year, $36 million left. You weren't just going to release that. That wasn't happening. And you certainly weren't going to trade that. Who the hell is taking a 7.18 ERA starting pitcher with that money attached to it and going, oh, yeah, this will be a good idea for our club. We'll take him. Nobody. My point last year was shut him the hell down. If you're trying to salvage anything out of this guy, shut him down. Now, to his credit, and I'll let you hear from himself, Taijuan Walker went out there and simply said, hey, I went out there and I busted my butt this offseason. I want everyone to know how much I busted my butt this offseason. So I'm glad that my numbers are backing it up. And good for him. Good for him. As long as you still got this uniform, I want you to do well. I'm pulling for you. I might not be betting on you, but I'm pulling for you. And Taijuan Walker has absolutely turned it around for this Philadelphia Phillies ball club since he's been back in the starting rotation. Really, all year, you're talking about a starting pitcher who is now 3-4 as a starting pitcher. And you're also talking about a starting pitcher who over his 14 starts this season has a 3.31 ERA. Yeah, I like that guy. And I want him to keep bringing it every single time he's out there on the hill. 14 starts, bringing it with a 3.31 ERA. Yeah, I'll take that. And here's the other thing. Zach Wheeler still looks like he could use a break. Now, I'm really going to judge Zach Wheeler after his next start. All right. He's typically not great on more than regular rest. He was going on 7 days rest against the Rangers on Sunday. So see how he comes out of that. If he gets a fastball velocity back up, I'll adjust him a little bit more. But look, you're going to get Aaron Nola back. You have Taijuan Walker. Jesus Luzardo looks like he is settled in a wee bit from his rocky stretch. But we are getting to that point in the season where guys are going to need breaks, where you might want to go to a 6-man rotation because this ball club certainly looks like they could use it in a lot of respects. So if you do go to that, then you could see Aaron Nola come back, and you cross your fingers that it was all health and not talent. It was all the ankle injury. It was all the rib injury, and he'll be just fine and dandy after the rehab assignment. That's what you hope for. And if all that works out, then maybe you can give a guy like Zach Wheeler a little bit more of a break. Maybe even Christopher Sanchez, you can give him a little bit of a break. Maybe Ranger Suarez a little bit of a break. Suarez is going to be coming off today, 6:40 start time against the Reds in Game 2. He's going to be coming off a bit of a rough outing, his last go of it out there. So cross our fingers for that. But all in all, you feel really good about where the Phillies are at right now. Oh, hey. And by the way, even though the Mets didn't play last night, their vibes are so terrible right now. Their vibes are so awful. Their juju is just, egregious. They, of course, lose a half game on the Phillies. Phillies now 6 games up in the NL East. What? How did that? When did that? What? 6 games up in the NL East on the New York Metropolitans. By the way, the Brewers are red freaking hot. They've now got, 2 separate 10-game winning streaks this season? That's hard to do, but good for them. So Phillies pick up a big win last night, and it all happened. By the way, I mentioned the Ranger Suarez Taijuan Walker, 6 innings, 1 run, no runs of support while he was in the game. I got to say, my feeling overall for this game was, like, you guys are serious? You rocked Andrew Abbott in your first meeting this season. Taijuan Walker just gave you 6 innings of 1-run baseball, and you can't squeeze out a measly run? It was awful, but I couldn't help for the game feeling like, really, guys, are you done yet? Are you done? Are you done being terrible? Are you done getting owned by Andrew Abbott? I know he was an all-star. I know he's having a great year. Phillies were the only team that really got him. But I was still in the mindset of, seriously, and to start where Taijuan Walker is going to pitch like this, you're not going to give him a run of support. You're not going to bounce back in this one. You're not going to have a late inning rally, whatever it might be. Well, it was the second to latest inning rally you could have had, considering it was a 4-run 8th inning, scoring all their runs. And I know the other thing was Schwarber's home run was obviously padding the lead. It was insurance runs. It made you feel a lot better about, David Robertson making his 2025 debut with the ball club. Made you feel better about that. But Edmundo Sosa got it started with a 2-out single. He's in the count 2-2. Gets a fastball, puts it in the left field for a base knock. Then Weston Wilson gets a double. His hit, by the way, Weston Wilson's hit in yesterday's game, that was a good pitch by Andrew Abbott. I mean, yeah, it was a curveball up a little bit, but it was away. Weston Wilson had great plate coverage on this one, and he pulled it down the left field line into the corner for RBI double to tie the game at 1. Then Trey Turner gets the RBI single, ends up reaching third on the throwing error. So good for him. And then Kyle Schwarber made it from a 2-1 game, made it a 4-1 game with an epic. Now, 404 feet by Kyle Schwarber's standard is not that far. But I forget who it was during the broadcast. They had the same question I did. It was like, what was the apex? What was the height of that baseball when it was traveling out of the ballpark? Because it went over the foul pole in the right field corner. The cameraman lost it. It was one of those deals. And they had to review it to make sure it was fair. I don't even know if they could find an angle to confirm whether or not it was fair. I think they just had to assume well, we called it that, so that's that. Well, Schwarber absolutely tattooed that baseball into the skies and made it the 4-1 lead for the Phillies. David Robertson, scoreless, a hit and a walk. Definitely looked like he had some first-day jitters about him on the mound, especially when you saw him give up a 4-pitch walk in the first batter he faced, just shaking his head, and then settled in a little bit after that, and then walking off the mound after the inning of not allowing a run at least. He has 2 base runners with a hit and a walk, but a walk then a hit. You can see him just kind of shaking his head like, I can't believe I did that kind of thing. I'm like, dude, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's your first out. It's August. August what? Yesterday was August 11th. August 11th. It's August 11th. You're making your debut for the season. Give yourself a breather pitching against the Iron Pigs 2 seconds ago. With the Iron Pigs 2 seconds ago. Take a breather, bro. Jordan Romano did well out of the bullpen yesterday, and they went to Orion Kirkering, who got the save because they weren't going to use Joan Duran again. And I'll tell you how I feel about that. Yeah, I'm great. I'm fine with that. Yeah, it was a fun one yesterday. I mean, it was edge of your seat, frustrating. I will go through some more of the details a little bit later, but it was a edge of your seat type of game, especially with knowing that Taijuan Walker was giving you 6, or he already gave you 6 innings with 1-run baseball. It's like, okay, guys, are you done being terrible? Can you do the thing where you're good all of a sudden? Thank you. And they did that in the 8th inning. So we'll get more into the Phillies game as well, and we'll let you hear from Taijuan Walker a little bit later in the show. Back to Landon Dickerson, and really the big story for a lot of people. I know that it's a very comforting thing, and I know I touched on this yesterday, but to reiterate, it's a comforting thing to know that Jeff Stoutland's your offensive line coach. And as much as we can have confidence in the next graduate of Stoutland University going out there and dominating, that doesn't mean I'm begging for the undergrads to expedite their process and all of a sudden be thrust into the throes of being a starting left guard or whatever shuffling of the deck they might have done. That doesn't mean I'm begging for it. That doesn't mean I'm begging for these undergrads to all of a sudden be graduates of Stoutland University and go out there and do their thing. I'd rather have the guys that I know, who, by the way, are getting paid top dollar to do their job. I'd rather see them out there doing their job, especially with someone of the skill set of Landon Dickerson, who Saquon Barkley seemed to run behind more than anybody last year. I want that guy out there. I don't want to try anybody else. All right? I don't need a variety pack here, okay? I see the true flavors here of this offensive line. And the other thing that I find really interesting is, and I was thinking about this because Landon, I don't think gets enough credit for this. We talk about Lane Johnson a lot. We certainly talk about Jordan Mailata a lot. I don't think we talk a lot about, if at all, about Landon Dickerson and his leadership qualities. I mean, one of the things that really sticks out to me about him is last year, how many times the cameras would get him pregame talking about how he woke up this morning. I woke up this morning and I chose violence. Okay. And then they go out there and they be violent. They be extremely violent and making sure that they're clearing paths for Saquon Barkley, making sure that Jalen Hurts is staying upright, making sure he's got time to throw. This guy has become a very big vocal leader. And one of those things that I'll just never understand, and I've heard this from multiple professional athletes, Like, if you're not playing, they don't want to hear you. A lot of cases, if you're not playing, they don't want to hear you. Well, this Eagles locker room is really special in that guys like Brandon Graham could not be there because of being injured, or not be there now because of being retired, or Jason Kelsey could be there being retired and still carry the weight that they did when they were playing or 100% healthy, whatever. They still carry that. Fletcher Cox is around the team now. He was at practice the other day. That's great. This team does what I think all teams should do, all players should do, which is respect the guys that still, even if they're not playing. And it's a weird thing that a lot of athletes don't follow that. So Landon Dickerson, one thing I will say is, even though this doesn't appear to be a season-threatening injury, even though this doesn't appear to even really truly be a week one threatening injury, he'll still be able to carry that clout around him at practice when he's getting his legs back under him and just getting ready for the season and all that. But I don't think we talk about enough the leadership that he brings to the table. And when you have the veteran like Lane Johnson, for instance, when you have him out there on the offensive line, yeah, that's where a lot of the attention is going to go when it comes to leadership. But when it comes to a guy that's a little bit more vocal, you look at a guy like Landon Dickerson and what he brings to the table. So, look, in this time that you're going to see against the Browns in a joint practice and the game against the Browns, I want to see guys like Brett Toth. And I wrote down, I think Brett Toth played 62% of the snaps. He might not even make the team. He's been getting most of the second team reps, so he'll probably still get more of an opportunity here. I want no part in moving Tyler Steen over to left guard when you're talking about a tackle in college, drafted as a guard. Kind of everybody looked at each other like, he's not a guard, right? But whatever, it's on the card, so he read it. Matt Pryor, Toth and Pryor have been journeymen. They're both in their second or third stint now with the Eagles. Darian Kennard is a guy that got attention last year. Trevor Keegan. Drew Kendall, by the way, 78% of the snaps. I don't know if they were all at center during the first preseason game, but another guy to look at as an interior lineman, possibly. These guys are going to get an opportunity to show that they could be the backup. Really, not just at the left or right guard position, at tackle position, whatever it might be. They're going to get an opportunity to do that. So take full advantage of this so that when we go into the season, you still feel pretty good about who else could be out there. All right, in the event that somebody goes down, because football is a rough sport, somebody's going to go down at some point for some amount of time, and you're going to have somebody else go in there and hopefully look like they know what the hell they're doing. So now's the time to get broken in a little bit, whether it's Pryor, whether it's Toth. And again, these guys have been around for years, so it's not like these guys are rookies. Kennard, Keegan, I mentioned. Drew Kendall is still a very intriguing name for me. And by the way, as we started the show, this is the name I left off. Okay. Adam Schefter just tweeted out. So yesterday, he puts it out there that Landon Dickerson is a best case scenario, a minor procedure. That's how Adam Schefter described it. Then just now, Landon Dickerson, from Adam Schefter, Landon Dickerson isn't the only Eagles guard who is now considered week to week. Kenyon Green, who the Eagles acquired in the offseason trade, is also what one source described as week to week with a shoulder injury that is likely to end his preseason. Okay. That's just the latest from Shefty on the situation, I guess. More of a depth conversation there. A nothing burger, I'll call it, because we already knew that. But when it comes to Landon Dickerson, the best possible thing is week one, still very much a possibility, if not a likelihood. I'll reiterate. I'd be very surprised if Landon Dickerson missed week one against the Cowboys. I would be very surprised. Other than that, you got joint practices starting up this week with the Cleveland Browns. The opportunity to hit somebody who is not going to be your teammate in the upcoming season. I still love what Vic Fangio had to say about Shedeur Sanders, which was, he doesn't really know much about him, which I just find hysterical. But the guy that I really want to see, I want to hear good things about in this practice, in this week of practice, is Sidney Brown. both just during the week in general and then also in the joint practices. Because I'm still rerunning in my head the play Sidney Brown made that Sidney Brown would not have made last year. And it's a preseason game. It's all under that umbrella. I get, but you look for little things. And there was that little swing pass that Sidney Brown was playing safety on. And he recognized the play immediately and pursued the ball. He had a blocker in his way. And instead of just looking to make the super physical, heat-seeking missile play and level the blocker, he tried to shed the block, and he was in on helping to make the stop. Like that's such a minor thing, usually. But when it's Sidney Brown, it's a major thing. Because that shows an awareness that I really didn't see much of from before. Yeah, go hunt the ball carrier and, knock him on his ass. That's Sidney Brown's got that down. No problem. But when it comes to making the smarter play and somewhat of a finesse play, that's what impressed me about Sidney Brown in the first preseason game. And he's been getting a lot of reps out there. Obviously, Drew Makuba ain't out there. He right now is your favorite to be the starter. He right now is your favorite to be your starting safety opposite Reed Blankenship. Now, this still has to, think about for a second whether or not Justin Simmons is going to be signed by the Eagles in the coming weeks. Speaking of things that wouldn't be surprising, been talking about that for a while. But as of right now, what you have on this roster, what you're going with on this roster, if the preseason ended today, Sidney Brown. So I just wanted to see continued maturation from Sidney Brown. The other thing is just keep giving me good things. I just need not keep, but how about can I get some good things? Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson. I'll take some morsels of progress in practice being as bad as Thursday night's game was. I'll take some morsels of positivity. Ja'Cory Bennett, listening to Vic Fangio talk about him, I thought it was really interesting, and I played the cut for you. Do I still have it? I still have it. I'll just to touch on this one more time here with I don't have it in here. But he basically said, yeah, he's got an opportunity to compete. Everyone's got an opportunity to compete. It's practice. It's training camp, And then he actually did get some first-team reps at the end of the open practice at Lincoln Financial Field, which is, hey, good. Look, he should. If you're two corners that are vying for position to be your majority of the time outside corners when Cooper DeJean or when your defense isn't in base coverage, if you're not in base coverage and you're going to have that outside corner, then if those two guys that are vying for that spot did not look good at all, that kind of opens the door for a guy you just acquired and a guy who, by the way, you gave up a legit talent for in Thomas Booker IV. Now, when I say legit, I mean this guy can play. I know he can play. He's not a Pro Bowler. Certainly not all pro, but last year when he was out there sparingly, he played well. So it's not like he gave up absolutely nothing, and Vic Fangio even said that. This one stung a little bit. So if you're bringing in a guy like that, he's going to be in the competition. There's no way you can have a competition at any position and then trade for someone of that position and say, oh, no, this guy's not competing. He's a depth piece. No. What? He's going to compete. But if it's him, I don't care who it is. If it's Bennett, if it's Adoree Jackson, if it's Keely Ringo, just give me good vibe. Give me good vibe this week. The cornerback spot. Give me some positivity. And I know it's Jamar Chase. I know it's T. Higgins that they just went up against. That is certainly, as Vic Fangio would call it, a stressful situation. But just give me the good vibes. Just give me the good vibes this week. Please and thank you. Kenny Pickett will be back in Philadelphia. That would be adorable. Maybe the Browns would be like, hey, you know what? We need another quarterback. Let's get Tanner McKee. Here's a first-round draft pick. I don't know. Let's get crazy. So I look forward to seeing what this week of practice will be giving the Philadelphia Eagles leading up to Saturday afternoon's preseason game. So that'll be a good one. By the way, speaking of Saturday afternoon, I got invited, and I look forward to reporting. I'm actually going to be hosting it. The debut of Jason Kelsey's Brewmite commercial, if I have that right. I just got invited. I just got asked to do this. And that's going to be Saturday in Phoenixville. I am very much looking forward to that day. Saturday is going to be a good time, full of good times when it comes to Eagles preseason. We hope we get good vibes there. And then also talking. What the heck is it? Oh, there it is, Chuck Liddell. Yeah, Chuck Liddell's going to be there too. That'll be a good time. Host of this event for Garage Beer. That'll be a good time. Yeah, Saturday is going to be a fun one. All right, your Philadelphia Phillies. So yesterday, they have Taijuan Walker on the hill going up against the Cincinnati Reds, coming off their first sweep in nearly 2 months. Good. Speaking of good vibes, great vibes. Taijuan Walker, 27-pitch first inning. Not ideal. Phillies, conversely, in the top of the first inning, a 9-pitch inning for Andrew Abbott. All right. Well, 27 pitches, 1 run scores on Taijuan Walker in that first inning. Okay. I'm not expecting Taijuan Walker to have 6 shutout innings every start now, you know. So 1 run, all right, fine. Limit the damage. And he did. 1 run. Second inning, both pitchers combined for 21 pitches. 11 by Taijuan Walker. Third inning, a little scary again. 24 pitches, but no damage. Fourth inning, 1, 2, 3 inning, a 9-pitch inning for Taijuan Walker. Fifth inning, an 8-pitch inning for Taijuan Walker. I'm a little curious here. Is he going to come back out? Now he went 83 pitches, threw 83 pitches in his 6 scoreless innings against the Orioles. What's Rob Thompson going to do with him here? Is he going to up him another, a handful of pitches? Well, he brings it back out in the 6th inning at 79 pitches, and he rewards his skipper with a 14-pitch inning. Gives up 1 base hit, but never in trouble. 6 innings, 1 run from Taijuan Walker. All the while, Phillies got nothing. They get their first hit of the ball game in the 5th inning. JT Realmuto a single to right center field and a 7-pitch at bat. They can't do anything to get him home. Castellanos fouls out to first. Bader flies out to center. Realmuto is able to tag up to third on that one. Then Otto Kemp steps up there and he grounds out to short. So nothing there. 6th inning, Edmundo Sosa, leadoff single. Let's go, baby. 1, 2, 3. Phillies go down after that, including Weston Wilson, who would later play a role of a mini hero. Turner would step up there with the fly out to left field, and then Kyle Schwarber would pop out to short. 7th inning, Bryce Harper, leadoff double. Okay, let's go. JT grounds out to short. Harper goes to third. Castellanos hits a fly ball to somewhat shallow right field. So here's a moment of controversy. I'd say not even shallow, mid-range right field. Certainly not deep. Now, Marte's out there in right field now. He's normally a third baseman. I understand third basemen have really good arms. They have great arms. So you can put a third baseman in the outfield and feel okay about it. The fact that he's not a regular right fielder, I mean, he is now, but he's newly minted to that position. I absolutely understand Bryce Harper going for home in this situation in the 7th inning. You haven't got anything going offensively. Does it feel like you're forcing it a little bit? Yeah, a little bit, but it's the right call. So this is where I will absolutely argue on the side of philosophy and not really give much of a damn about the result, especially because the Phillies won. But they send Bryce Harper home on this tag-up opportunity. I don't have a problem with them sending him. You should have sent him. You did send him. Unfortunately, he was out. The slide from Bryce Harper was some weak sauce, man. Like, you don't see where the catcher is. Like, straight into home plate was a little surprising. Where's the little swipe tag? Or swipe touch of swipe slide, whatever. Side slide, whatever. Where's a little bit of that? He went straight into home plate, feet first slide, fine. But where's a little touch of home plate trying to avoid the tag? That was weak. That's the only thing I didn't like about the play. There was no adjustment from Bryce Harper. So anyway, he gets thrown out of the plate. It ends up being a double play. You're out of that inning. 6 pitch, a leadoff double. 5 pitches later, the inning's over with no run scored. So you're still trailing 1-0. Great. Now, at 83 pitches, Andrew Abbott comes out for the 8th inning. Bader strikes out on a high fastball. Kemp strikes out on a fastball away. You got 2 outs in the inning. And at this moment, I think it was, I think Tom McCarthy on the broadcast, it was either Tom McCarthy or Ben Davis. One of them says, and Terry Francona has no one up in the bullpen. I was like, huh. Andrew Abbott at this point's in the 90s range here of pitches. He's got nobody up in the bullpen. Well, he goes to a 2-2 count on Edmundo Sosa. Puts a fastball out there. Sosa barrels it into left field. Okay. Feeling good. Got a base runner here with 2 outs. Edmundo Sosa started things the other day with that 0-2 pitch that he put in the left field stands there in Texas. So, all right, let's see if we get a little bit more magic here. Weston Wilson steps up there, goes up in the count 1-0. Weston Wilson gets that curveball low and away, reaches the barrel of the bat out there, and actually pulls it down the left field line into the corner. Edmundo, it's ping-ponging around out there. It's pinballing around out there. Edmundo Sosa scores from first base on this one. You got yourself a tie ball game. It's 1-1. Trey Turner steps up there. He's able to get I think that was a fastball out over the middle of the plate. He puts that one in the left field. He gets the third. He gets the second on the throw, third on the throwing error. Another run scores. It's a 2-1 Phillies lead. They take Abbott out. They bring in Santillan. Right-handed pitcher to face Kyle Schwarber. Interesting. Bold move. Bold move, Tito. Schwarber, he gets a 1-0 fastball at his eyes. I was reminded of the Reggie Jackson line, who used to always talk about how if he got a high pitch, he figured it was already halfway up the wall. So why not put it the rest of the way? Oh, my God, that's something Reggie Jackson can say. Well, Kyle Schwarber got one around his eyes, and he tomahawked this one. If you told me this one was 365, or excuse me, what is it, 5,060, 500, whatever. If that one was a mile in the sky, can't believe it just blanked on that one. If that one was a mile in the sky, I'd believe it. And it carries over the right field fair pole in this case, for a 2-run home run. Phillies score all 4 of their runs with 2 outs in the 8th inning. They go on to get a 4-1 win. Jordan Romano, he was great. David Robertson, a little shaky, but did the job. And I'm glad he got this one out of the way. And Orion Kirkering, easy peasy in the 9th inning. Phillies are now 20 games over 500. Phillies are now 6 games over the New York Mets in the NL East. And one of the people that we really have to thank for yesterday's performance was the fact that he kept the Phillies in this ball game despite no run support through the first 7 innings of the game. No run support, certainly through his 6 innings of work, was Taijuan Walker. If you're just joining us, Taijuan Walker, a 3.31 ERA in his 14 starts this season. He is 3-4 in those starts. He had a 7.18 ERA a year ago. We always love a redemption story. This is certainly a redemption story for Taijuan Walker. He's been exactly what the Phillies have needed when they've needed it. Here he is yesterday.
Like I said before, I busted my butt in the offseason. I wanted to come back this year and just show them that, I worked hard and I was ready to get back in rotation. And I think I proved that. And, especially going back and forth, still staying calm and under control and just within myself and going up to get, do whatever they want me to do. But I'm comfortable as a starter and I've done it for a long time. So hopefully keep moving.
Well, hey, you want to talk about how much you bust your butt in the offseason? Well, the proof's been in the pudding, brother. Good for you. Last year was terrible. I was like, I knew it was bad, but I forgot it was in the 7s. And after his last start against the Orioles, I looked it up and I was like, oh, yeah, 7.18 ERA as a starter last year? Good God, man. Well, every ounce of his work has paid off this year. Just think about this. Ranger Suarez has hit a little bit of a bump over his last 2 starts, really his last start. Against the Orioles, he got rocked a little bit. Zach Wheeler had to have a start pushed back. Aaron Nola obviously hasn't been available for a very long time, as we know. Jesus Luzardo was absolutely incredible in the first 2 months of the season before that awful run of 20 earned runs in 2 games. It was bad. And for Taijuan Walker to rise from the ashes of his own struggles to help a ball club that had some struggling pitching in their own right is a great redemption story. So good for him. Good for Taijuan Walker. And hey, good for the Phillies. It's money looking a lot better spent for him. Also, I don't even know. I don't know the last time he had back-to-back quality starts, let alone back-to-back 6 innings, 1 run or less performances. So good for him on that as well. The platoon situation that the Phillies have going on right now is really interesting. After the game, they asked Rob Thompson about, hey, you're pushing the right buttons. I might have even been my man Bob Cooney asking the question. By the way, sound courtesy of NBC Sports Philadelphia. I really am interested to see how this continues with the platooning. Because Rob Thompson got asked the question after the game about, hey, you got all this going on with the platoons and you're pushing the right buttons. It's got to make you feel good. And Rob, like any good players manager, they just put it on the player. The players are producing, he's trying to put them in good spots, blah, 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 whatever. Well, it's been working. Look, Bryson Stott's numbers have bounced back as of late. Edmundo Sosa continues to hit. Brandon Marsh has been great. Harrison Bader has had some, nice moments, but still waiting for a little bit more from the hitting side of things with him. He's been great in the field. The odd man out here could be Nick Castellanos. And I know that Bryson Stott has gone through a 3-month slump. Brandon Marsh started off horribly before really turning it on. JT Realmuto was struggling mightily. Alec Boehm had his horrible start to the season. Nick Castellanos is in the middle, hopefully the end, but right now it seems like he is in the middle of some really bad struggles right now for this Phillies team. And obviously that's unfortunate, especially when you're talking about getting through August and September, looking to play some great baseball. And what you have seen recently from Nick Castellanos is well below the standard. And Nick Castellanos right now, with his play in right field and inability to hit, that ain't going to get it done. Average dropped down to 259 in yesterday's game. He's never been a big on-base percentage guy. His on-base percentage is now below 300. And this is on the season, by the way. This isn't even recent splits. And I rattled them off for you the other day, but just to go in it again, for the last month now, Nick Castellanos is hitting 183 with a 212 on-base percentage. That's 82 at-bats with 15 hits over his last 30 days. I got to tell you, when we talk about this offense all of a sudden going ice cold, I don't think about Bryce Harper. I don't think about Kyle Schwarber. When I think about free swingers, I don't think about Kyle Schwarber. I don't think about Bryce Harper. I don't think about JT Realmuto. I might think a little bit about Alec Boehm because he's a first pitch type guy too. But the guy I think about is Nick Castellanos. And if he's going to be hitting, this is more than just a cold spell. This is a really bad month. Really bad month. If he's like Bryson Stott, you could at least say you're getting a gold glove caliber type of defense. You're not getting that from Nick Castellanos. And he's just slow. So you talk about the possibility of Justin Crawford coming up in 3 days. Will Nick Castellanos be the odd man out? The fact that they're on the road trip, I think, kind of aids more so to the idea of Justin Crawford coming up. Sometimes you don't have to start at home. You don't have that pressure, perform in front of the hometown fans, whatever. But yeah, you're looking at Bader, Marsh, and possibly Justin Crawford getting a lot of reps. Getting a lot of reps in that outfield. I'm really curious to see how all that comes together for this Phillies team. And Rob Thompson even alluded to the other day, potentially having Nick Castellanos getting some more days off. Hey, look, there's a reason why these guys don't play as many games as they used to. And I know I absolutely love, the old days where you could, really depend on your guy coming up to the plate for 4 at-bats every day, no matter what. But there's a opportunity here where you could give Nick Castellanos a bit of a breather, a bit of a blow, and potentially have Justin Crawford into the mix in all of this. You're talking about a left-handed bat. You're talking about an outfielder, play center. I mean, he can play anywhere in the outfield, really. This year for the Iron Pigs, he's been 66 games in center field, 23 games in left field. But I have zero doubt in my mind that he could play anywhere in the outfield if the Phillies really needed them to. But I think Brandon Marsh could do the same thing. I think Harrison Bader could do the same thing. So you're going to have some interchangeable outfield parts for the Philadelphia Phillies. By the way, this right now on the season, Justin Crawford, 21 years old, a 17th overall pick, and still hitting .330 with a .414 on-base percentage. Oh, he's at the 4 home runs now. There's some power. But that's what he's doing so far in 94 games with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Dave Dombrowski said at the trade deadline, he's ready to play, but he needs to play. It was an interesting thing. You read some things he needs to work on. Well, sure, you can still work on them. It's not like, all right, you're right here at 21, you got to stay like this. Don't work on anything else. No, you're always working on something. So bottom line is he said he's ready to play, but he's got to play. They're going to have enough interchangeable parts there in that bullpen, or should be in that bullpen, in that outfield to do what they need to do to get Justin Crawford up here at the big league level. So have at it. One guy I don't see coming up at the big league level is Andrew Painter. Not this year. It ain't going well down there. He's going to have to go on some kind of a run to maybe get a late September call-up. So there you go. Hey, let me tell you about the Game Time app. Want to go to the game, the concert, the comedy show? Game Time app has you covered. So download the app, create an account, use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. And don't forget about the Game Time Picks feature. You know what that does? Game Time Picks feature, it just eliminates all the fluff. So you get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. And know what else you can do? You can also view your seat before you buy it. So you know exactly what the vantage point is on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. How about PHL Sports Nation? Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's phlsportsnation.com. And don't forget to check out Brett's amazing inventory at Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. 5,280 feet or in a mile. That's what I was blanking on. For whatever reason, I couldn't. It's just one of those things, man. Just one of those things. Let's get into the chat check and see how your wonderful people are doing. Rye. Hey, Rye. Eagles fan, good morning. Feel a lot better after the good news. So do I. I don't, as much as I have confidence in the next man up at Stoutland University, I don't want that. I'd rather the known commodity. Sean Kilren, hello. Eagles fan, I need the Phillies fanatic hat behind you, the green one. Where can I buy it? I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked that they don't have it on the team store. I'd be very shocked to learn that. I think Michael Barkan gave that to me. I think. I'm not sure. I know he was involved somehow when we were both at WIP at the same time. He just came into my office and he was just like, hey, they're giving out hats. I love that hat. I think it's hysterical. Sean Kilrain, hello. Phillies bullpen has allowed one run in the last 22 and 2/3 innings pitched. Farzy, you got to love it. And I do love it. I absolutely do love it. I rattled these numbers off for you before, and now they're even better after yesterday's performance. Since August 1st, this was going into yesterday. Well, they lowered the ERA that much. 2.18 to 0.41. Oh, you're talking about the last 20. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense for yesterday. Okay. Opponent's batting average, 143. Opponent's on-base percentage, 189. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Jason A., hello. Great Kyle Schwarber still on pace for 58 home runs. Tying Ryan Howard's record if he does it. Somebody asked me yesterday in the chat for Phillies postcast. Somebody asked me yesterday about Kyle Schwarber being the best home run hitter since Schmidt. Like, people forget, I mean, how great Ryan Howard was. And let me pull up his numbers. But before I do, one of the things I've always said about Ryan Howard is that he was bad for as many years as he was phenomenal. And that, I think, tainted a lot of his legacy. First off, the fact that he was not an everyday regular starter for a season until he was 26 years old. And that's when he hit 58 home runs. Because they still had Tomey. They brought him up for the 88 games his rookie year in 2005. He won Rookie of the Year. He had 22 home runs that year. So you look at 06, 07, 08, 09. Yeah, if you include his rookie year, it's 5. But you look at that 4-year stretch. At least 45 home runs, at least 136 RBIs. That's insane. That's an incredible stretch. And then he had these 2 middle years, 2010 and 2011, where he hit 31 and 33 home runs, 108, 116 RBIs. 1 year he hit 276 with a 353 on base percentage. That was 2010. That was unbelievable. That he hit 276. You hadn't seen his batting average that high. 277, then 276. So back-to-back years of having a decent batting average. But then 2011, 253, 2012, I think that was the injury that Ruben Amaro Jr. talked about, where he had the surgery and he used the phrase, he had the surgery and they had to take some meat out. And I was like, excuse me a second. Sorry. To bring that memory back. And he was never the same guy. He was never the same guy after that. 219 batting average, 14 home runs in 71 games. 266 batting average in 81 games with 11 home runs. 223, 23 home runs. 229, 23 home runs. 196, 25 home runs. So you're looking at 190 strikeouts. You're looking at 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16. 5 years of just bad. That tarnished some of the long-lasting legacy. And what was insane was when it was done quick. I mean, after 2016, he didn't play in the majors again. I know he signed with Atlanta. I know he signed with the Albuquerque Isotopes. Do I have that right? The Rockies farm system. It's wild. But, man, those four or 5 years of Ryan Howard, the best in the business, man. The best in the business. 1 MVP, runner-up in another, third in another. 45 home run season with a 279 batting average and 360 on base percentage. Playing in 160 games. And was playing first base. And they could still shift. I remember Ryan Howard was one of the first people I saw be like, oh, they can't shift now. Great. Little late on that, boys. Jason A., hello. Walker was impressive with his improvement. He is impressive with his improvement. I agree. Cousin, what's up? Morning indeed. Whoa, wait a minute. Little cousin, is it your birthday? Feliz Cumpleaños T. Cumpleaños T. Auguri. Gotta love that 8th inning comeback. Hell yeah. Morning, everyone. Glad for the good news. Right? April, hello. Alfredo. Good news. This is all in capitals for the people on the podcast. This is all in capitals. Good news. Is it? It's not. I think you mean to say it's not season ending, and he will be back at some time. He doesn't need to be there week 1. If he can't, the team will have to hold it down until he comes back. There we go. You wrote it again. Thank you. I got you. I got you, brother. I got you. Jerry Von Skyver, what's going on? How about Taijuan Walker? The guy has been the ultimate team guy, does what he's asked to do. And I also love the idea that he was asked after his start against the Orioles, how would you like to start? He's like, well, yeah. It's like, okay, cool. We're at least honest with that. That's great. Jason, I want Sidney to start. Fair enough. I mean, right now he's earned it. April, Matt, Farzy attempting math this early in the morning is a good time. You're welcome. Jason Howard was my favorite player, 08 team. Oh, you were in high school with the 08 team. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That team, damn, that was so good. Yeah, April, absolutely. Howard's so good when he was good, but then the decline was quick. I'll never forget him falling to first base against the Giants. No, it wasn't against the Giants. It was against the Reds. I'll never forget. Because the Giants, he got the backdoor slider from Brian Wilson. Cardinals, not the Reds. It was against the Cardinals. And he's running down the first base line, and he blows the tire. And I remember thinking, not only is it over now, but next year is going to be affected as well. Like that sucked. Oh, man, that absolutely sucked. And honestly, when Tyrese Halliburton went down in the finals, my first thought was Ryan Howard. Because, I mean, you try to identify with, like, you know, another fan base and how much that must suck. And knowing that it's over now and next year is already starting off on a bad foot, no pun intended, that's a gut punch, man. Yeah, Ryan Howard. Yeah, that was the one. Against the Cardinals. That was the 1-0 game. Yeah, 1-0 game. Carpenter versus it was Carpenter, right? Carpenter versus Holiday, yeah. God damn. Oh, bad memories. What's up, Pin 79? Morning Farzy. The Eagles season is saved. Thank the football gods. Yes, there we go. Jason says, yes, it was April. It was a quick decline. Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Hey, I'll be back with you guys later today on Locked On 76ers with Keith Pompey for your 30-minute installment of your 76ers coverage. Then I'll be back after the 6:40 start time tonight. Ranger Suarez gets the start for the Phillies on your Locked On Phillies postcast duties. Again, 6:40 start time tonight, so look forward to that. Coming up at 8 o'clock, I believe it's 8 o'clock today. Birds 365, or maybe early practice. Maybe they don't do it today. Or do it later. I don't know. But anyway, Birds 365 at some point on Jacob Media. So make sure you like and subscribe to Jacob Media. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Farzy Show. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Eagles. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Sixers. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Phillies as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back with you guys throughout the day. See you guys then. Bye.